guys. I feel like these hospital gowns look way better on everyone else besides me. I don't know what my problem is. But I know this is weird. I'm at labor and delivery and I'm not having the baby today, I don't think, but I wanted to do an update on everything that's going on because I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to do an update again. And last time everything happened so fast, I didn't get a chance to really like film anything that happened in the last week. So I wanted to do an update today because I'm actually being held at the hospital for 24 hours to check blood pressure and protein in my urine and all of that. So since I'm here, I thought I would just fill you guys in and have this for a record for myself in the future. And I'm here by myself. My husband is watching my toddler at home, so since I'm here by myself, I figured might as well film this video. So since I talked to you guys last, I had an ultrasound on Monday and that went well. Baby actually looks bigger than I am supposed to be. So I'm supposed to be right now like almost 35 weeks and she's measuring closer to like 36 and a half weeks, which is awesome. They're estimating her to be about 6 pounds on Monday, so I'm sure she's a little bit more than that now, but I know that that could be off a little bit. So it's hard to know, but just the fact that when they measured her head, her stomach, her arms, her legs, everything was measuring a little bit bigger than what I was supposed to be makes me feel pretty good because I did get the steroid shots and everything, so hopefully she's doing really well. Definitely whenever they do non-stress tests and measure or keep track of her movements and everything, she is doing really well and very active, so she seems like she is in a good place. On Tuesday, we had lab work done, and then I got that back on Wednesday, and really the only thing that was alarming was my platelets were pretty low. They had dropped since the week before, but they weren't like so low that it was alarming and we needed to do anything about it. It's just they had dropped pretty significantly, so it was something that we should all take note of, and that's kind of what made me start thinking that this is starting to progress quickly, and I was a little bit just alarmed by that. So then fast forward to last night, which was Wednesday night. I'm like, I don't even know what day it is, but today is Thursday, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So Wednesday night, last night, I went to the grocery store and I went by myself because I just wanted to get a few things and I didn't want the added stress of having my toddler. So I went at night and I took my blood pressure while I was there, and it was pretty high. It was like 155/95. So I got all my groceries and then I went back and I took it again and it was about the same. So I figured that was probably pretty accurate. I started to get a little bit worried, and so I thought maybe my best game plan is just to go to sleep, rest for the rest of the night, and then first thing in the morning go back and do it again and see, like, if it really is still high in the morning, then I feel like I should do something about it. So I went back in the morning at like 7:30 and it was about the same. So I called my OB office when they first opened at 8 o'clock and I said, here's my numbers. I'm thinking about just going into labor and delivery, but I wanted to know if that's like the right thing to do. And they said, we have an 8:30 appointment, so come on in and we'll go from there. So I went into that appointment. My blood pressure had dropped a little bit. It was like 145/90, something like that. And they're like, okay, well, it's pretty high. Looking at your platelets dropping in the last couple days, and it looks like the protein in your urine is slowly increasing too. I think we should send you up to labor and delivery and just like get blood work done again. So they sent me back up there this morning. They did blood work again. They did what they call a spot test, which I think I talked about in my last video, where they like take your urine and it's kind of like just like a sample of your urine, but like it's a little bit more comprehensive than that. So they did that and my protein definitely had increased since the last time. The blood work all looked pretty good. My platelets had actually increased, which is good. They were back to like a normal number, but I think my red blood cell and white blood cell counts were a little bit concerning. I don't know exactly what they were because they haven't given me those numbers yet, but all I know is that was the only thing that was a little bit off. So the doctor looked at everything and he said, I think I mean, you definitely have preeclampsia because of the protein and everything and your blood pressure, but they're not saying that I have HELLP syndrome yet. It's not to the point where any of those numbers look like they could diagnose me with HELLP syndrome. So it's essentially just like an average case of preeclampsia at this point, which is not good, but it's not terrible because it's fairly common. HELLP syndrome is a lot less common, and so when you get HELLP, that things get really serious very quickly, but they don't really have anything that's super alarming to them to like put them over the edge to say, okay, like this is turning into HELLP yet. They're still just like monitoring me and saying, right now we don't have any reason to think you're gonna get HELLP. But that's hard for me to believe. So they are actually monitoring me for 24 hours now. I am like in the middle of that process. It's like 3:30-ish here. So my 24 hours are gonna go from like 9 a.m. to like 9 a.m. tomorrow. So I am just getting non-stress tests twice a day. They're taking my blood pressure every 4 hours, and then I'm doing a 24-hour urine while I'm here just to kind of get a really accurate gauge of where my protein in my urine actually is at now. So that's kind of where I am right now, and I think tomorrow when that 24-hour urine is over and they have like a full snapshot of my blood pressure for a whole day and everything, then they'll decide if they think it's progressing to something worse, or if they feel like I'm pretty stable and everything looks pretty good, they might let me go home and just kind of keep doing what I'm doing. But honestly, I'm so nervous about going home because last time, this is like exactly what happened, where they monitored me for 24 hours and then 2 days later I got diagnosed with HELLP syndrome and I had him that day. So I just feel like there's a pretty good chance that something like that could happen again, and so I'm nervous. I don't know. I'm gonna talk to the doctor more as the day goes and just kind of see like what my options are, because I know that if I go home, it's hard to know what's going on, because a lot of the things that can go wrong you just don't feel in your body until it's too late. So we'll see how this goes, but I just wanted to update you guys on everything that's going on. So just to clarify, as of today, Thursday, I'm 34 weeks and 5 days. So I will be 35 weeks on Saturday. So, I mean, ideally, I'm sure that they would like me to make it to 37 weeks, but they just keep saying that, and it's kind of frustrating me because it's like, I feel like there's no need for me to go that long at this point, because things are getting worse every day. So I feel like we need to realistically like reevaluate our plan and like maybe sometime next week look at doing a C-section, because I just feel like if we just keep like hedging our bets every single day, then it's eventually going to get pretty bad. So I don't know. But that's the update on everything that's going on, and I guess I'll pop back in and add to this if something else happens between now and then. I'm sure I'm going to have something to say once I either get discharged or not in like probably about 24 hours. So we'll see how it goes, but that's the current situation. I forgot I wanted to talk about swelling, because it's obviously like one of the biggest symptoms with preeclampsia or HELLP syndrome is just swelling in a lot of different places. So my ankles actually are doing pretty good. I can like show you guys a shot of my ankles if you're curious, because they used, like last pregnancy, they were so swollen. It was like so painful and like pretty much like as swollen as they could possibly get, like terrible. And this time they're barely swollen. But my hands, they feel pretty swollen, but they don't look terrible. But they're definitely swollen. But I've really been noticing a lot of swelling in my face, and I'm sure you guys can see too, like under my eyes and like around like my jawline. I feel like there's just a lot of swelling now, and it's getting worse. So it's interesting that that's like the worst swelling that I have, where I feel like last time it was definitely my legs. But I definitely have swelling. It's just not as severe, so it's like hard to know, like, is that a sign that like things aren't going to be as bad this time, or is it just that I have been doing a better job of being active and like like staying active but also resting and keeping my feet up a lot and drinking a lot of water. I feel like I've just been taking a lot better care of myself this time, so it's hard to know if like it's gonna progress just as quickly. I'm just taking better care of myself, but who knows? I don't know. There's so many like different factors and things that could change, so. But I just thought I would add that if you're concerned about swelling or you are in a similar situation and you just kind of were curious, definitely have swelling. It's just not crazy over the top like it was with my first one. So here are my ankles. If you like press right here, I definitely have some edema, like where it stays in. So like you know that there is swelling, but when you look at them, they just don't look too bad. And everyone keeps coming in and like feeling it, and they're like, oh yeah, you're not bad, but like it's definitely like staying in when I press, which is a sign that there's definitely swelling going on. But there's an update on that, and they did give me a little IV, and they said it's just in case something happens. So I'm just like hanging out with this needle in my arm just in case. Hey you guys, I am hanging out in my bed. I made it home. This video is going to be full of awesome lighting, but I just wanted to update you on like kind of how the last day or so went down. So I was at the hospital for 24 hours. Blood pressure stayed pretty stable. There was a couple times where it spiked a little bit, but it wasn't anything alarming. So they felt pretty good about my blood pressure and sending me home. They did do a 24-hour urine when I was there, and that came back actually with really high protein. So it was actually higher than when I was diagnosed with preeclampsia with my son. So I don't think it's at a point where like I'm in danger or anything, but it's very clear that I have preeclampsia now, because before it was kind of like borderline, like just right at the cusp, but now it's very high. They also did a blood test, and that actually all looked pretty good. I know my platelets had dropped before, but they went back up and they stayed up. And then in terms of liver enzymes and like white blood cell count, red blood cell count, that all looked pretty good. Nothing like too crazy, and definitely nothing to suggest that I have HELLP syndrome. So right now I just have preeclampsia. It has not turned to HELLP yet, and there's not even really anything to suggest it's going that way. So we're just kind of waiting to see how things go. If I feel like I have really high blood pressure, I'll definitely go probably to Kroger and take it and just kind of see where I'm at. If I have any type of pain, that's the biggest thing that I should be looking for at this point, because I have a doctor's appointment on Monday, so it's Saturday now. So in 2 days I'll go in, they'll check my blood pressure, they'll probably check a couple other things. I'm not sure if we'll do like more blood tests. I'm hoping that we will on Monday, but the big thing for me to look at between now and then is any type of pain, specifically rib pain, any pain like in my like higher like chest, like sternum area. But honestly, if I have any pain that just feels weird or is like new, alarming, just anything that feels off, I'm going to go in, because I'm just really nervous that things are going to change really quickly. So I'm just trying to relax the best I can. My husband's being very helpful in trying to take care of my son the best he can while still trying to get his work done. So I'm trying to keep my feet up almost all day and just hang out with my family, and just really trying to de-stress and take it easy and stay alert for any symptoms of like any type of pain or high blood pressure, or just feeling off. If I feel dizzy or like my vision's getting blurry, anything like that, I'm definitely going to go right in, because I don't want to mess around this time. So that's kind of where I'm at. They did say if I can keep my blood pressure about where it is and my blood tests keep coming back fairly good, about where they are right now, then they could keep me going until 37 weeks. That's still a possibility at this point, which I didn't think there was any chance in the world that I was going to make it to 37 weeks. But right now they seem to think that there is a small chance that everything can just stay the way it is and we can make it there. So They did schedule a C-section for September 9th, which would be 37 weeks and 2 days. That's a Monday, because they didn't want to schedule anything over the weekend. They typically don't do that. So it would be 37 weeks and 2 days. September 9th is when I'm scheduled. But if anything happens before that, it would definitely be sooner. But that's kind of the game plan, I guess. Everything changes every day, it seems like, so who knows what's gonna happen. But today I am exactly 35 weeks. I made it to 35 weeks. I feel pretty good about that, and I think I had mentioned earlier we had an ultrasound and she's measuring bigger, so she's probably measuring closer to like 37 weeks now. She does feel really big. I feel like really heavy. So she's probably already bigger than my son. My son was born at 6 pounds 2 ounces, so she's probably bigger than that already. So I feel really good about her and her health, and she's had a ton of NSTs and she's been kicking like crazy, and she just seems really healthy. So I think if she came out today, she would be fine. It's just every day gives her a little bit more strength, a little bit better chance of having no lung issues, preferably no jaundice issues. That would be awesome, but I know that could happen anyway, but we'll see. But I just wanted to kind of close up this video for you guys and just fill you in on everything that's going on. So I guess this is considered my 35-week update, and I'll try to keep filming for you guys. I definitely want to keep updates going so that I have them for my record too. So I guess I will see you guys in the next one. Guess I'll do a bump shot for you guys real quick too. I just would like to have them too, but my belly button is still like, it's getting pretty flat. It's in a little bit, but it's like so close to popping out. Last time with my son, it got to this point and then I had him. So if I can go a little bit longer, maybe it will pop out a little bit. But yeah, feeling very, very large. Actually, there's a couple other things I forgot to mention. One is weight gain. I actually had gained up to about 20 pounds. And I was getting nervous because it was coming on pretty fast. And I was like, I just really didn't want to go like much over 20 pounds. But I was there, and then for some reason I started to lose a little bit of weight, and I don't know, honestly, I'm eating terribly and a lot of food. Like, I'm eating constantly. And I was like, maybe I'm just like staying really hydrated so the swelling isn't like getting as bad. So I lost a couple pounds, and then when I went to the hospital for 24 hours, the craziest thing happened. I swear my body, like from being in the hospital for 24 hours and just resting, like I had no stress pretty much, because I'm the type of person who I worry at home, but at the hospital I'm like, if something happens, I'm at the hospital. They're reading my blood pressure, they're taking my blood, like if anything happens, this is where I want to be. So I felt pretty low stress. My son was at home with my husband, so I felt pretty good, and I actually had a chance to genuinely rest and de-stress for 24 hours. Just lay down, watch YouTube videos. It was honestly pretty nice. Last time I did that, it was very stressful and hard because I didn't know what to expect, and I had never done it like a 24 hours in the hospital before, so I was super anxious. But this time I was just like super calm, and I think my body started to like heal itself, or just really be in a good place, because when I did my 24-hour urine, it was like double the amount of urine that I typically would do for a 24-hour urine, because I've done them so many times. Like, I know how much I generally pee in a 24-hour period, and it was like double. And I was getting kind of worried because it was just a lot, and it was very clear. I was like, I don't think I am that hydrated. Typically, if I need to like pee a bunch and be that hydrated, like I have to try really hard to drink a ton of water, because I don't drink a lot. Like, naturally I take really small sips, and so I have to like be very intentional about that. I was like, I don't think I'm drinking that much. And then people started to say that my face, and you could probably notice my face started to swell a lot less, and my ankles were obviously like in great shape because they'd literally been up for 24 hours. I only got up to pee. So I think what happened is my body just like drained a lot of the fluid in my face and in my ankles and my legs. And so I had this like crazy amount of urine to give them for the 24 hours, and then I got home and I lost another couple pounds. So now I'm at like 15 to 16 pounds gained, and a lot of my swelling is gone. It's crazy. But I still have a ton of protein in my urine. It's not like the preeclampsia is gone at all, because my blood pressure is still pretty high pretty consistently. But in terms of the swelling, it's like actually like being on bed rest and de-stressing and just like completely like calming myself like actually helped me like heal, it felt like. I don't know, it's crazy. And I don't know if there's other things going on that would cause that, but I definitely lost some weight and I lost some swelling, so I'm feeling a lot better. But I still have preeclampsia and I still need to be on pretty high alert for anything alarming that happens when I'm at home. The other thing is my son had a cold. He got a cold like maybe yesterday, and he gave it to me. So now I have like a headache and like a stuffy runny nose and just like pressure in my face. So I've been taking Tylenol for that, and that definitely isn't fun when I'm trying to be on like high alert for anything alarming going on with me when I have like all of these little aches and pains from having a cold. So that's kind of a bummer, but I'm just trying to de-stress as much as I can while I'm home, and every day that I make it is one day farther, and I'm just not trying to have any expectations at this point. 2 weeks to go seems like a really long time, and I mean I guess I can make it if I just do it one day at a time, but it seems like an overwhelming idea to have to wait 2 more weeks of this like back and forth. I have no idea like where my health is, but I'm gonna try to make it as many days as my body will let me. So I'm gonna end the video here, and I'll throw in a bump shot for you guys right after this. I appreciate you guys watching these videos, and if you have not subscribed or hit the bell button, definitely do that. There's gonna be a few more videos like this hopefully, and some exciting meet my baby, learn the name of my baby videos coming up. So definitely stay tuned for that if that sounds interesting, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And I just appreciate you guys following along this journey. If you're going through a similar situation, it's hard. It's really hard. It in theory seems like, okay, you're on bed rest, hanging out, waiting for your baby to come, but it's such a mental and emotional like game you're playing with yourself. I hope this can make you feel a little bit better knowing that there's other people going through the same thing, and it's hard, and it's allowed to be hard, and you're allowed to feel stressed and anxious and concerned, and you kind of just have to go through the emotions and just try to keep yourself calm the best you can. But comment down below if you are going through a similar situation, because I definitely want to show you guys some support. And I am posting updates on my Instagram, so you can hop over there if you want like a more real-time update on what's going on, and you can see like my Insta stories and my posts of how I'm feeling each day and if anything changes. So I just appreciate you guys watching these videos and supporting me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.